Guys, it's Dane at ZIMM'S Guitars in Mesa, Arizona. And I have a guitar to restring today. I believe this is a 1970s made in Japan Epiphone Crestwood. Okay, so I just bought this guitar and everything that I buy gets restrung, and you can feel, and I can see some dirt on the fretboard, but you can feel a lot of dirt underneath there. So the first thing I do is we're going to go ahead and pull the strings. Now the string height and everything is really nice on this. So all I'm going to do on this one is shine up these frets and restring it. Oh, the nut's loose. And we're going to re-glue the nut in place. But I'm pretty sure this is a Crestwood. There's not too many of them online for sale. And it definitely says right here, made in Japan. So my best guess is going to be 1970s Japan Crestwood. Cut these strings off. Okay, and then this nut again is kind of just laying there, so I will put a little dab of wood glue underneath that. There's a lot of dust on here that needs cleaned off, so I'm just going to shine it up and restring it. So this is a wraparound tailpiece, and so the strings all come through like this, and very, very similar to Gibson. Now in this point in the 1970s, Gibson owned Epiphone, and so everything they made was in Japan, and then I think they moved a lot of their factories to China. But I think some of the Epiphone stuff is still in Japan. But, yeah, what's that say right there? Made in Japan. So it still does have that original wraparound tailpiece on there. And it is compensated. Well, you know what? Let's just spray some pledge right on the guitar. How about that? Oh, yeah. Now, don't breathe that stuff in. I got a good shot of it the other day. So when I first got this guitar, I thought maybe it was an Epiphone Wilshire. And so after looking it up and spending some time on eBay and Reverb, there's not very many of them. So they're kind of rare. Or else people just aren't selling them, or whatever the reason. There's hardly any of them on Reverb. So it was hard to actually find out what it was. But some of the other Crestwoods that I've seen have binding, and some of them have block inlays. So this is a little different than some of the ones, you know, having just the dots. Now, Epiphone Gibson bought Epiphone in, was it the 1950s? I'm going to guess 1950, should I say 56? 1959? I think that's when Gibson decided to buy their closest competitor, which was Epiphone at the time. And Gibson, I have to say, has done really good financially after they bought Epiphone. I think Gibson buying out Epiphone was possibly one of the best moves that Gibson has made, as far as they've made some weird purchases over the years. They bought a lot of weird companies, but back in, it might have been even in the 40s. Leave it in the comments for me. What year did Gibson buy Epiphone? But I really kind of think that it was a really good idea that they bought this company out, because Epiphones sell like crazy. And they still are to this day. Epiphones sell really good. Yeah, so I'm seeing a little, the fret ends feel really nice on this one. You do have some wear at the first fret, a little bit more wear at the second fret. Third fret gets better. A little tiny bit right there at the 10th fret. A little bit up here at the, what is that, 17th fret. But overall, the frets look really nice on this. Let me put a little bit of lemon oil on it. So I make videos like this, so you guys, if you're watching, you sort of know that I have what new inventory I have available. And so this one is available. And I don't usually do too much online sales. Unfortunately, I don't have a website, and it's a small brick and mortar location that I have here in Mesa, Arizona, where I make these videos out of. And so I don't have a website. I don't like to do reverb because I miss out on trade-ins. I got this on a trade-in, or I might have actually, no, I think I bought this one outright from one of my regular customers that comes in here all the time. And that's one of those fun things about having a used guitar shop, is people selling you stuff. You never know what you're going to get. And you end up with some pretty cool stuff. And then you get to sell it to people in your community. We're just going to put a little bit of glue on the nut to hold that in place. So I just stick a toothpick down into a bottle of wood glue. I don't use super glue for this because super glue will damage your fretboard along here. All kinds of bad things can happen if you put a bunch of super glue on there. You'll never get the nut back out without damaging it. And so we'll just squeeze that down back in there. And I probably should have took the truss rod cover off, because now I probably just glued the truss rod cover down. Okay, there we go. Get that extra glue out of there. A little bit right there. Get that out of there. Press it down so it sits nice and flat. And then you can center it with just your thumb and your middle finger. And you can feel exactly where that thing sets. So, just like that. Okay. So now I'm going to let that thing dry up for a little while. And we're going to go ahead and let's put a wrench in here and see if it turns. Okay, there, I loosened it a little. There, I'm going to snug it back down. So the truss rod is functioning. And so let's just let this dry up for a little while. And then I'll be right back to put strings on it. Today's string choice. Okay, today's string choice. Primo Slinky, 9.5 through 44. So the scale length of this guitar, and I'm just eyeballing it very slowly, but it is 24 3/4 in scale length. So your basic Gibson scale length. And on Gibson stuff, I like to put 10 gauge strings, but sometimes they feel kind of heavy to me. So I put strings on guitars so that they play really good. In my opinion, I know every guitar player is different, but in my opinion, these are going to make this guitar play and feel just incredible. And so that's my way of being able to sell a guitar, is by having it play really good. So we're going to go with the 9.5s. Okay, so what I'm doing on the bridge here is So I'm going to go ahead and load all 6 strings into the bridge, into this tailpiece. Okay, you get all 6 of those on, then you set it back into place, and it kind of clicks into place, and then you take your low E string and you wrap it over. And hopefully I gave this nut enough time to dry up, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, get that little screwdriver out of my way. Okay, now I'm going to go over and I'm going to do the high E string, just because we do have some soft glue underneath the nut. Alright, we'll see what this thing sounds like a little bit. Here we go. Stretching the strings out a little bit. Brand new strings on it. This is made in Japan, 1970s. And a lot of those Japanese guitars from the 70s, they didn't really play very good. But this thing is really, they were on the ball back then when they were doing this one. They did a great job building this thing. Thought this thing was the Epiphone, it's a Crestwood, but I thought it was maybe a Wilshire until I did more research on it. these guitars from the 1970s, they weren't real good as far as players, but this one plays great, and it is available. Give me a call. Let me know if you guys are interested. Come on into the shop, and you can play this thing. Let me know what you think. There it is, the Epiphone Crestwood. Everybody have a great day. Go buy a new guitar.